and I'm on YouTube, y'all. So hey, YouTubers. So I was talking about how easy content creation has become with TikTok. And even when we think about CapCut, I was thinking about how much I use CapCut for editing now. And it's almost to the point where it's like I forgot that I didn't use CapCut like 2 years ago. And even when CapCut first came out, like I did not hop on board with it at first. Like it was like not my, it wasn't my thing. And I think the reason why is for one, like there's all sorts of editing software. Like literally there's so many editors. And I didn't think that it was going to do anything different. Like, and I think also a part of it too was that it's so close to how the TikTok editor is that it really doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense to me at first to use CapCut when I was like, I could just record this and edit it in YouTube. I mean, in TikTok. The only reason why it became something different is because I was um realizing that I could use it to create content for other platforms. And honestly, like the real thing that made me like that sold me on CapCut is that I enjoy using CapCut for short form video. And the moment that other platforms started to prioritize it, like everybody started jumping on the short form video wave, then CapCut became more relevant to me because now I can edit short form videos like I do in TikTok, but I can use CapCut now instead. So the transition to using it made more sense because it like was catered to short form. Like it's really good for short form. And so now I know like they have like expanded and now you can use it for way more than short form video. But when it became popular, short form video is what made CapCut popular. So after that, and then seeing like all the features that they added onto it and all the different things that they did to make it easier to use, that was when I was like, oh, it got me. Like I'm here now. And I knew I had really got sold when I got CapCut Pro. And I was like, dang, like I'm here now. I'm here now. Like this is the life that we're living. So I get how people are worried because you didn't have to do a whole lot to get ahead. And so yesterday I talked about how one of the things that people are going to have to start to learn how to do and put into practice is actually creating a strategy, like creating a content strategy, having a strategy for your brand, like how you market, having an actual marketing strategy, having different platforms that you're building content on. Like people have been asking me, even like, do I think that TikTok is gonna really get banned? And honestly, y'all, like I am not removing that as a possibility. Like I'm not any like we've seen platforms come and go, and I think that because there are so many of them that have managed to stay around, that we it feels like that's like so like unfathomable. But we have literally seen platforms, huge platforms, eventually fade out, or they become obsolete. And I, as much as revolutionary as TikTok has been for like modern social media, it's still a platform and any platform can go. And so the way that I'm looking at it is I'm worried less about whether or not it gets banned because I don't see what I can contribute at this point to that cause. So what my thinking is whether it leaves or whether it goes, how can I set myself up to be good regardless of the outcome? And so that's where my energy feels the best spent. Like it doesn't make sense to me to agonize over the what ifs. So even when people give like the updates, and then all of a sudden you see one video, and then y'all know how TikTok is. You see one video and then all of a sudden you're flooded you're with all the videos of people talking about here's the update, and here's what's new, and updates on the ban, and this is what's happening now. And then went to Congress, and this got appealed, and this didn't. This is what this means. All these different predictions. And I have limited myself to, once I see one video that gives me new information, that's it. That's it for the day. So everybody else that's reported on it, if I didn't see you first, then I'm not consuming it, because I'm really only interested in as much as it affects me, and as much as I need to use this information to share with other people. So that's my answer. Is it, do I think that it is going to? I don't know, but I don't think it's impossible. So I thrive on other platforms, especially if TikTok is the first platform where you really started creating content. The way that the algorithms are on other platforms are just not the same. Like, it doesn't have the same push that TikTok does to put you in front of new people. It doesn't have the same kind of algorithm. And so it's not as easy to just say I'm just going to start putting content out there, because you have to have a little bit more strategy when it comes to these other platforms. And so one thing that I will say is that I feel like if I had to think about what the contributions have been from TikTok on my journey as a creator, is feeling like it helped me to be more comfortable using my voice. Like, and not even just in terms of speaking, like just like talking, but also feeling more confident in not being so polished and put together and so curated. And it gave me a space to be more creative, to think about different things that I wanted to try that maybe I felt like weren't okay to do on other platforms. And so I feel like it unlocked this sense of creative freedom. Hey, Niala, this sense of creative freedom. And I think that taking that freedom and that creativity that you get from creating on TikTok, and then learning how to cultivate that in other spaces, while also keeping in mind that there are different rules for each platform. So, how can I still take this authenticity, this creativity that I have created, that I've cultivated on TikTok, and how can I bring this into these spaces while also being more intentional and more strategic in how I execute it? Because the algorithms, the platforms move a little bit differently. So that's the question that I feel like this conversation is answering, because we're literally talking about, how do I take these creative ideas, these concepts, these things that I want to talk about, these things that are going to generate income for me, these things that are going to help me to take my content and monetize it. How do I take all of these things, these different elements, and keep this while also moving more intentionally and more strategically towards my goals? So, one of the biggest ways to do that is through planning your content, having a strategy, having an idea in place of, how am I going to now take these ideas, these concepts, this creativity, and translate this into content that helps me to reach my goals.
Family of those people. TikTok allowed us to be in front of people that we may have never crossed paths with, but we needed to cross paths through it because they were a part of our target audience and we were a part of their target audience. TikTok allowed for us to take what we knew as marketing and transcend like being able to take one trending sound and it being able to be used across different industries in different ways. TikTok allowed that space of creativity for us to be able to do that. TikTok gave me a voice. It gave people businesses. There were a lot of people who knew nothing about digital marketing before they became a digital marketer by joining TikTok and being in the right rooms at the right time.
Yeah.
TikTok allowed people to see that they have skills that they haven't necessarily honed in on. TikTok has taught us things that we would have never learned in high school.
Yeah.
They're still not teaching in school. TikTok makes our life easier. It makes it convenient. And if we look at our businesses, the way we look at TikTok If we provide the same level of convenience, the same level of customer service, the same level of creativity, and the same level of consistency that TikTok has provided to us, then our customer base will transcend and transfer with us if TikTok leads.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm thinking back. I'm thinking back. One of these days, I want to do another one of those. Yeah, she snapped on that one. One of these days, I want to do another like journey through my time on TikTok. I feel like that would be fun for us to do it like together. Cause me and Bullock, we did that one day a few months ago. We were on live and we just started looking through all the videos that we had from like the beginning of our TikTok days and up until now. And there was some things that I like legit forgot that I did. Like there was all of these okay, I'm gonna be honest with y'all and be transparent. One of the reasons why I stopped doing the dance trends was, well, for one, I knew that I wasn't saying what I really wanted to say. Like I don't do good trying to just like make, put words on the screen. I feel like I'm missing a bunch of details. Okay, like that's on the surface, that's what it is. But deep down, I was frustrated because I was not getting the views that other people did. Like every time I did a dance video in comparison to a talking video, the talking videos always got way more views, way more engagement, and so I was like, well, forget y'all. Like, I don't want to dance for y'all. No way. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to talk in these videos. And that's what y'all going to get. Cause I love doing the dances. Like I was that person um, in my friend group where they like, if anybody going to know a TikTok dance, it's going to be Jada because I did. I did. I learned them all. I practiced them all. They were in there, my repertoire. And so whenever I would do them and then it wouldn't get no love, I'd be like, oh yeah, no. And I knew like realistically, I'm not creating a dance channel. So I wasn't gonna keep trying to do the dances to get y'all to like me. So I just stopped.
What was crazy was your numbers grew because of your talking head videos. And I was the opposite. I did a lot of dancing videos. If we take TikTok, I did a lot of dancing videos, and I got a lot of likes and comments on my dancing videos, but nobody followed me from them. People followed me from my lives. They followed me from when they heard me talk. They followed me from when they kind of related to me when I started going live. But when I was just dancing, they would come and like and comment, but they wouldn't stay. It was like, it's nice to see.
All right, that was fun. All right, bye. That was cute. Appreciate it. Oh man, that's so funny. Okay, so there's a question over here on YouTube from Adrian that I want to answer. So she asks, do personal brands transcend platforms? Meaning, will your core audience follow you off social media to your own space while you continue to gain new subscribers? And where are we leading them to? So those are some good questions. And I'm gonna touch on the first one and then I'm gonna ask Antoinette what she thinks. And then we can like move that way. Oh, actually, no, there's three questions. So I'll answer the first one. So do personal brands transcend platforms? Absolutely. Like they do. Like I feel like that's like a easy yes. But the way that they transcend platforms is by you understanding what your brand is. Like there is no way for you to take what you do and figure out how do I translate this or communicate this in a short form video. How do I take what I believe, what I stand for, what I'm selling, what I do, and translate this into a blog post? How do I take what I do, what I offer, how I serve people, and turn this into a live event, right? Like I think that even if you think about like on a really simple example, when influencers have in-person events, like if you've ever had an influencer or seen an influencer, even gone to an influencer meetup, like I remember they were like so popular like a couple of years ago. Like it felt like everybody, all the big YouTubers had a meetup, right? And so they would announce what city they're going to be in, and they'll be like, hey, if y'all want to hang out with me, make sure y'all pull through. That's literally an example of your brand transcending the online space into reality, into real life. Anytime that you meet somebody in person and you tell them what you do, you tell them, hey, I'll use myself for example. Hey, I am a brand strategist and I help people to navigate the social media space, the online space, build brands, be authentic, be courageous. And I give that information, I give that, that spiel to somebody in person. That's literally me taking what I do online and it transcends. The key is understanding what it is and how to communicate it. And then from there, you can take that and form it into different marketing tools, different marketing tactics that, no, regardless of what the medium is, it still is translated because you understand at the core what it is you're trying to do and trying to communicate. So yeah, it absolutely does transcend. Happy Tuesday, Kayla. What are your thoughts on that, friend?
The only other thing I was going to add, because I think everything you said is like on point, spot on, chef's kiss. The only other thing I would say is in 2025, one of the things that you guys have to look forward to that I think is going to be a social media trend is being hyper local with our marketing too. So when you're asking does it transcend over into your actual community, you have to translate it over to your local community. You got to get out your damn house. Some of us have been stuck in the house since COVID. A lot of the people who are in your city are also following you, whether you want to know it or not. There have been so many people this year alone who have come. I was at my high school homecoming, drunker than a skunk. Let me not lie to y'all. And somebody came up and like, I've been following you for years. Oh my God, thank you so much for teaching me everything. Girl, this is not the time. This is not the time. But we never know where our audience is going to actually meet us in person too. And so the brand that we're posting here on the internet also has to translate over into our real life too. Like she know that sometimes I get a little saucy. I was going to enjoy myself. I was honest. So she was like, girl, we're gonna talk on the internet.
Right. We're gonna let's take this to a later date.
Let's take this to a later date. This ain't it right now. But be hyper local with your content as well in 2025. So make sure you're utilizing the networks that are currently around you. You can't say you're a content creator and all you're doing is creating content for the people that you don't know. Sometimes there are people in your cities, in your actual organization right now who know nothing about social media. And if a part of your business is teaching people about content, how to expand on the digital marketing space, you need to be hyper local and reaching those people too.
I agree with that. Okay, so the next question that she asked is will your core audience follow you off social media to your own space while you continue to gain new subscribers? Yes, they can, and most times they will. However, I will say that that is going to depend, and it's going to kind of answer both your questions because you also asked where are you leading them to. um that's an individual decision. So for me and Antoinette, the place that we bring our community to, where we're leading people to, is our Telegram community called For Trendsetters Only, right? So for a while I've been trying to build this community, y'all. Like, it's been so many years in the making for me to finally launch it. And I recognize that as much as we get connections and we relate to people and find people and like make all these great interactions on social media, there's a certain level of communication that I feel like doesn't happen on social media. It happens offline, or at most it doesn't happen in like in a piece of content or a YouTube video, right? And so we decided that the perfect space to host this would be Telegram. So everywhere, no matter whether you are a client or whether you're just somebody who likes what we're talking about and you want to be around some people that's talking about it, the Telegram is our community that we go to, right? And so everywhere that we're leading people to, that's our space. But we came to that decision based off of like, what is it that what was the purpose of it? What are the capabilities of the platform that we're taking them to? What do we feel like is the best format for people? Is your community more of a, like, chat based, and that's why I like Telegram, because you can like literally chat on there, and you can go and you can DM individual people and make your connections that way, right? Like I value the ability for me to not only be able to communicate with my community members, but for my community members to also connect with one another. And so that was another major thing that had me come to that decision. And so another thing that you got to think about is like, what does your community look like? What does your space look like? And that's something that I don't think that we spend enough time thinking about and creating that space. Like, what do you want your community to look like? Like, and if you can, to the degree that you can, I would like to hear your answer to that question now. Anybody that feels like they have an idea of what that looks like. What does your community look like? How does it function? What purpose does it serve? What kind of people are in this community? What kind of things are you guys going to accomplish together? What is it that they need? And how can you take the tools and the resources that are available to make that happen first in a virtual space, and then also in person. Like, how can I create this community, this atmosphere in person? And not even just how can you create it for yourself, but how can you connect with other people? Maybe it's not a matter of you creating it by yourself, but you connecting yourself and aligning with somebody who's already got it going. And then you're just like, look, you got this, I got this, let's come together and make some shake. So what is it? What do you want that space to look like? That's where you're going to be leading people to. So that's the first thing that you have to decide for yourself, based off of what you envision for your community and what resources are available for you to now cultivate the space for that community. Now, the next thing that you got to think about is, how are you going to engage your community, which is something that me and Antoinette are actually.
Sorry, John's in the queue.
Oh, we're it's just me and Antoinette today, John. Okay, I see your comment, Kayla. I'm about to read it in a second. And so where are you? Thank you. Where are you hold up, what was I saying, y'all? Oh, how are you in keeping your community engaged? Is what I was saying. So me and Antoinette are actually working through what that looks like for our own community, because managing a community, honestly, like there's literally people who do that job. Like a community manager is a legit position. And there is a position for a reason, because not only is it important to get people to that space, but then like, how are you going to continue to cultivate it, nurture those relationships, serve them, grow with them? So you also got to keep in mind, like, what does that look like? And it's okay if that's something that you have to learn along the way, but it is important, because you can have a community and nobody can be engaged or involved in it, which defeats the purpose of having a community in the first place. um and then you also got to think about, what type of content am I creating that is meant to attract new people? And then what kind of content or events or products or services are going to be for my community members? And then from that, even further, what levels, like what are those tiers, what are those levels look like what stages would somebody have at a free level? What type of things would they get, right? Like if they're just like, I opted into your email list, or I joined your text community, or I came to this event that you put together, what are they getting for just being there and showing up for free? What are the people getting that invest at a certain level, right? What is the incentive, or what do they get for being at this level? And then going even further from there. So there are a couple of things that you got to think about, and then that will help you to navigate it. But the people who are loyal, the people who are really invested, the people who really rock with you, are going to follow you pretty much wherever you go, unless they just don't like the platform. And even then, it's been some people where like, I don't really mess with this platform, but I like you. And if this is where you're going, then I'm going with you. Or there's people that I follow across multiple platforms. And sometimes I'm seeing the same content from them, but it doesn't matter, because I like them and I want to see what they're doing. So you have to know that the answer to it is yes. Okay. They're going to go. And even as you're growing and building new people, growing that awareness, people are going to still be there. They're still going to follow you. But you also want to keep in mind, what does that look like at each level? And that's something that you also, again, have to decide for yourself. So, yeah. Um, I'm gonna read Kayla's comment, and then if you have something to add, friend, let me know. So Kayla said that she wants her community to look like a peaceful space away from stress of life, and a safe space to explore yourself and interests, a space of joy and encouragement. I love that, Kayla. It makes me smile just like you do. And I see you already cultivating that, even just with your interactions with people. So I love that. I
For real. You know, we haven't made it all the way here yet. I can't mirror myself. So some of you guys were asking about, somebody asked in regards to like, where are we going? Knowing where you're going is having an understanding of where your audience is, right? Um, I don't have a comprehensive list of all the apps at this current moment, because there's some that are not on my list. I do have like sort of like a comprehensive list, but I don't have the fan base, the lemonades, and all of those things that you guys have been asking about. But the main ones that have been around for a while. So Facebook is business to consumer. If you're looking for brand awareness, if you're looking for advertising, if you're looking to build community, that's where you need to be. If you are Instagram is business to consumer. I mean, business to consumer. If you're looking for high quality images, aesthetic, videos, UGC, advertising, you need to be on Instagram. If you're looking for business to consumer, business to business, trying to build brand awareness, people look for long form content. Your audience look for long form content, how to videos, SEO optimization, advertising. You need to be on YouTube. LinkedIn is business to business, business relationships. It's good for business development. It's good for social selling. If you are looking at Twitter, business to consumer and business to business. If you're looking for, it's best for public relations, customer service, and community building. Pinterest is business to consumer. It's best for visual advertising and inspiration. And Snapchat, which I'm gonna be real with y'all. Snapchat and Pinterest is sneaking up. Pinterest and Facebook in regards to payment of creators.
Yeah.
They're giving a coin out to some of these creators, and they are not as tapped into as TikTok has been tapped into.
Yeah.
So when we're thinking about leaving, think about those things too. But Snapchat is business to consumer. It's best for brand awareness, advertising, and location-based marketing.
I didn't know location based marketing was a thing for it, but that makes sense because they even got that map on there.
Yeah, so like for me, when I use Snapchat, I literally look at the map and see where people are. Like, I also utilize that map for like places I've been. I utilized Snapchat a lot when I was out overseas. And so if there was a place that I had been to and I couldn't remember the name of it, I could go back to that Snapchat in Paris on the map. And so it's really good for that. About being hyper local in 2025, Snapchat may be a place that we need to look at, though.
I had forgot all about Snapchat. I was not even looking at Snapchat again. There's a creator that I know who does like very well on there. Um, I have to figure out what their name is again, and then I'll share it. But yeah, Snapchat's been monetizing. Snapchat has an accelerator. So it's a year-long accelerator, and they bring on a group of creators, and they pay them a monthly stipend of like $10,000 a month. And they give them that money just to create for Snapchat. Like, so imagine like literally just getting paid to make content and test it out. Like there's no like, I won't say there's no requirements, but there's no requirements on the style or the type of content that you create on there. My thinking is that they're doing it, one, to get more people on Snapchat and to market it. They're also using them to test out how the platform works, how people respond to things. And so what better way to do that than to pay the people who are the experts at creating content to do that for you and then just take in that information. Oh, hold on. Let me repeat that real fast just in case. So, Kuma's asking, is anyone tired from net exhaustion, tired from casting a wide net and maintaining said net, and how to maintain your net as well? Go ahead.
Yes. And one of the ways, hey Mo, one of the ways that we've been talking about lately in the next 34 days of College Day 19 in preparation is literally preparation, planning and preparation. It sounds very boring, y'all. It sounds like, how do I do this? But JD and I have been, the last couple of days, have really been talking about preparing your content, planning your content. We were literally talking about opening this live with scheduling content, like what are the best schedulers, what are they good for, which ones should we use, which ones to benefit each of us for each of the things we use for. And so having a strategy and utilizing planners and planning out your content, being prepared, is going to be the key to not being exhausted in the time of trying to figure out like where we're going and having a wide net and spreading ourselves kind of thing, trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
It's not going to be it's not going to be fun. This transitions never feel good. But a part of the transition is figuring out who you are in the transition, figuring out who your business and your brand is in the transition, how you're transitioning into after you've lost kind of set in it. But I think the best way to kind of alleviate yourself from being exhausted to me is being prepared.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I do get tired. You know, like it's not I do get tired, I do get exhausted. Um at this moment, I can't say that I am exhausted though. I honestly feel like I gotta I don't know, like I got like this kick of energy, and I feel like part of it came from having some having more clarity on what my system looks like to create. And I've been kind of like talking about this here and there about how I've been using AI more to help me to streamline what I'm doing. Like and to create a flow that allows me to take like the ideas that I have, the things that are starting to come to my mind, and helping me to translate that to actual content. And one thing that I have to make sure that I like point out is that I am not creating more content than usual. You know, like I'm not like, it's not like I like, you know, okay, I got to ramp it up and now I'm making 7 videos a day, even though like that is a strategy that I could adopt, especially if I want to be like really aggressive about my growth on TikTok. But what is more important to me at this moment is that I needed to scale back so that I could get clarity. And if I, because I was feeling so exhausted and overwhelmed and feeling like my efforts just weren't amounting to enough, like it just felt like I was doing a whole lot and there wasn't a lot to show for it. And so I had to be okay with, okay, I it's going to take me a little bit longer to create, but once I master this system, then I can move at a better pace. Because one thing that I heard that really like unlocked something for me is this doctor, I think his name is Dr. Kofi, and he's the doctor that talks a lot about ADHD and autism and all of the like a lot of the common mental illnesses that we're hearing about, but it's from a perspective of what does it look like for people of color, what does it look like for women, you know, like. And so like he's kind of like found his niche in that, and so he's a really cool resource to follow. But one of the things that he said is that when you get to the place where you're burnt out, your burnout is a sign that it's not a sign that you need to just keep pushing through. It's a sign that you need to scale back and create new systems. And so he was like, your solution for burnout is not to just keep going. It's not to just keep pushing. And if I'm at the point where I feel depleted and I feel exhausted, then it means that whatever systems that I have in place are not effective. They're not working for me. They need to be adjusted. They need to be changed. They need to be shifted. And so when he said that, I was like, well, I'll be like, that makes so much sense. And I felt like it just freed me up. It freed me up mentally at first. And it felt like it gave me permission to take a step back, not for the sake of quitting, but for the sake of reconfiguring and realigning my system, figuring things out so that I can be more effective and not burn out. So, yeah, I'll be, I don't know what I'll be, but I will. So I think that like that's something else that if you're listening to us and you're all you're hearing is, well, dang, this is just another thing to do. This is another thing to add on. This is something else to put on my plate, but you recognize the need for it, then that's what I would say that you might need to do. Like you need to take a step back. You need to assess what you have going on and recreate systems that support your life better. So recreate systems that not only take into account what you do for your work, what you do with your content, but also for your life. Like what areas may be neglected right now, what things do you consistently put on the back burner that you actually need to prioritize. Like one of the ones for me that I know for a fact, I throw it all the way to the back. Like it ain't even no back burner, it's just all the way behind the oven somewhere. I don't i don't prioritize enough like time to just do stuff that I enjoy, and not even just hobbies, but just like doing things that I appreciate doing, that I enjoy doing, that feel good, that feel fun, that are not related to work or anything, like just stuff that I just genuinely enjoy doing. And even this year, although I have been more social and I've gone out and I've done more events, most of the events that I have done have been for content. Like it's not just stuff that I just get to enjoy just for me. And so I I realized that consistently moving that way is going to burn me out. It's going to exhaust me. It's going to deplete me because one of the things that I need is just like that connection. I just need that those conversations that aren't about anything serious, but just like we just having a good time or we're just talking and whatever it leads to, it leads to. But that's something that I need to refill and refuel so that I can keep doing the work that I know I want to do and need to do. So yeah.
Okay, you need to take a step up, y'all. It's okay to also just have some fun. Like, have a little fun, relax a little bit, figure out where you're going with your business. Like, figure out what your business is doing. It's sort of kind of like a rebrand in a sense. And it's okay to rebrand. I understand that there is also tied to that a level of, okay, delusion because we're adults and we have children and we have bills to pay. But I also need us to understand that those bills will not get paid if we are overstressing ourselves about what's to come, especially if we don't even know what the fuck is supposed to come. Right? If we are not mentally in a state to be prepared for what's to come, like we're not gonna be no good to pay no bills and be there for our kids. So in the room of the TikTok fan, like I don't want y'all to always feel like it's always me and don't it's doomsday. Like take this time to plan out like what you have coming for 2025. Take 2025 serious. If you are in a space where you're ready to take your life serious, utilize the last couple weeks of this year to truly prepare for what you are going to execute. A foolproof campaign, a strategized, data-driven campaign that is going to help you and your business launch in 2025 to the goals that you want to succeed to.
Yeah.
The only way you're going to do that is you sit down for a second and just kind of be with yourself and kind of truly plan it out. Like a lot of us have been talking about for a while, a lot of the things that we should do, but are we doing the things and telling people that we are supposed to be doing too?
Yeah.
I have not been. I've been telling y'all to plan content, and I ain't been doing it. I've been just doing it because my life has just been a wing and a prayer. Amen. But I understand the importance of strategy. I understand the importance of a good content strategy. I understand the importance of a good content strategy when you're launching a business. I understand the importance of a good content strategy tied to your analytics. Understanding your target audience and tying that to a strategy, how you speak with them, understanding how they buy, understanding what you wear and how that can affect how they buy. All of those things, it seems like a lot, but when you truly sit down, you understand you, you understand your audience, you understand your business, you know where you can take it online. That's all I got for y'all. I love y'all. Build some systems because y'all gonna drain yourself die.
Yeah, and we're going to help. We're going to help, especially with the content and the brand strategy. So those two areas that you know for sure we can help you with. So
I can't help you with the motivation. You gonna have to find the motivation.
Yeah, we ain't got motivation ain't on sale with Audacity right now, so we ain't.
One always sold out.
It's on back stock.
Yeah. But I love y'all. I hope y'all get something from Jada. Jada is a talent when it comes to branding. And understanding too, like who she is and how to exemplify that to her audience, and how to speak directly to it every time. She does it every time effortlessly. So you struggle with that area, you can sit your ass down, grab you a pew and a seatbelt, and tie yourself in and get you some knowledge, learn you something. Y'all have a good day, bye.
Bye, friend. Thank you. Okay, y'all. I think I love that she ended with that because I feel like you know how you get a whole bunch of information, like you get a whole bunch of stuff, and it feels like everything is kind of being thrown at you at one time. And you're like, okay, this like oh, I don't even know where to even start. Like I almost attribute it to like if you had like a giant ball of like string and all of the string was like knotted up and you're over here trying to like work through this knot and figure out okay, where's this string going, where does it end, which one's tied to which one, how long is each string, like trying to like navigate just like untangling it and pulling apart the strings. Like that's what I feel like can happen sometimes when it feels like so much is just like hitting us at once. And one thing that I want to always make sure that I do, that as much as I challenge you and as much as I make sure that I remind you of what it is that you want to do, helping to hold you accountable if that's my role in your life, um, and all of that, I also want to make sure that mentally, emotionally, like on a soul level, that those things are also being addressed and being soothed and being healed because sometimes like sometimes it can we can make it harder for ourselves. Thank you, soul of a man. Sometimes we can make it harder for ourselves. And I just want people to know that don't allow yourself to fall into victim mode. You know, don't allow yourself to get to a place where it's like everything is happening to me and this is too much and I can't do this and I don't know how. When you start feeling those things, those thoughts coming up, I want you to think about what, like, how can I scale this back? How can I streamline this and get to where do I need to start today? What is the step that I need to take today? What does well done look like today? What does, okay, I can be proud of this day. I can check this off my list and navigating that from that space so that you can remind yourself like, hey, I got this. I'm good. I can take these small steps and I know that continuing to take these small steps going to lead to bigger steps, going to lead to bigger things. And having that confidence in yourself. Hey Matt, that confidence in yourself that I can make this happen even if it takes longer or even if I don't understand what every step is going to look like. I can navigate this. I can do this. I'm not a victim of my circumstances. These are just circumstances because life is lifing. And this is how I'm going to navigate this. And I think that that's like the mentality that we got to continue to cultivate and remind ourselves of, because it's only going to get more chaotic. Life is only going to get more chaotic. So how are we going to have peace and joy and clarity and confidence and excitement and dream? How are we going to have all of that in the midst of chaos? How are we going to navigate that? What does that look like for us? So I just want to make sure that with everything that I do, everything that I share with y'all, all the resources and tools that I give y'all, that that's understood and communicated, because all of that stuff absolutely matters. One thing that I do want to make sure that I add on before I get off, because we have definitely, oh wait, y'all, there was one more question that I said I was going to answer. Okay, so somebody asked me, he's not here right now. I think it was Richard that asked me this. He asked me, what platform do I feel that beauty creators are going to go to with the the ban? And I I thought that that was interesting, because the top platforms for beauty creators are IG and TikTok. So especially IG is just like a driving force, especially when it comes to things that are aesthetically pleasing, things that are high quality in terms of the video quality, audio, the creativity. Like those are the things that do really well over on Instagram. And so with TikTok, TikTok is a top one because this is where people get their sales. Like you can link directly to the products that you use. It is very easy to make content about different beauty products. And so there are a lot of creators who, most of them are on both platforms, but those are their top ones. So for beauty, those are the top ones. And so without TikTok, then the question becomes, what platforms are going to be the top ones for the people in the beauty industry? And so at first, when I was looking at it, I was thinking that it would be Pinterest, right? And I think that Pinterest still has not obviously Pinterest has a lot of, it still has a lot of appeal and is very valuable um for most creative entrepreneurs, most content creators. um but one platform that I just remembered because of this conversation that beauty creators might want to explore is Snapchat. So remember when I said that there was a really big creator who was monetized on Snapchat and had a really good following over there and was getting brand deals through Snapchat. That creator is a beauty creator. And one thing that I didn't know that Snapchat does, I learned this a few months ago, but Snapchat automatically finds um, it uses AI to find the products that you mentioned or similar products that you mentioned in the video, and it sends them links to it. So I feel like Snapchat might be a good option, a good alternative for the people who were seeing success with TikTok, because that commerce, the authenticity and the ability to be creative, all of those capabilities are over on Snapchat. And even though Snapchat like took a hit, especially when Instagram started doing stories, and it kind of like it didn't fall off the map, but it just wasn't, it's just not one that people like are, thinking about top of mind. But the user base, it is highly appealing to Gen Z, Gen Z, and I think Gen Alpha, and then I think it's I know Gen Z is a top. I forgot where millennials fall in terms of their audience. I think that millennials are like maybe like right under there, but then Gen Alpha is also in the mix too. So you're going to be getting a lot of appeal and attention from a younger audience, which if that's something that you are looking for and you're trying to have like that same effect, then I think that Snapchat, it might be an underutilized platform when it comes to beauty creators. So Do with that what you will, but that's what I'm thinking, because I know for a lot of people, Instagram can't be the only thing. And okay, primarily Gen Z and millennials. So Snapchat is primarily Gen Z and then millennials. And it was, even when I was using it, y'all, man, I feel like this is my sign that I got to get back over there. God dog it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna address that later. So even when I was using it earlier this year, and I was just like getting back acquainted with like all of the filters and the different capabilities, I felt like that same sense of creativity that I felt when I was on TikTok. And now as I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna post the video that I made on Snapchat. I'm gonna post my submission video. And honestly, y'all, it was one of the most cringiest videos I've ever made in my life. It was so cringy. Oh my gosh. I felt uncomfortable every step of the way. It is the cringiest video possible. And and one of the reason why, so one of the requirements for the video was that you had to create the video native in Snapchat, and then you had to utilize Snapchat features in order to make the video. And so I'm sitting here and I'm looking through like all of the filters and all the transitions, and I'm just like, no way. There is no way I'm gonna sit here and use all of these filters, especially because I be talking about people when they be using too many filters in their videos. So I'm like, I'm over here being what I despise. So so once I got past the cringe, I started to have fun, because I started seeing all the different ways that I could um like use different effects to do the things in the video that I wanted it to do. There was this one feature there's one filter on there where it makes you disappear. So I did, like, at the end of the video, I did like a pose like this, and then it made me, like, the disappear into glitters. I was so excited. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm really finna tear it up with this one." So I did, like, did a little pose like this, and then I just slowly disappear. And I was like, you know how much time it would have taken for me to figure that out on CapCut to do. So I had another thought when it came to Snapchat that I want to just like throw out there real fast. And then if y'all are curious about it and you want me to talk about it more, then I will. But I think that if TikTok really does get banned, there is there is currently nothing that's going to replace TikTok, like in totality, right? I think that, like, that's something that we just kind of like got to be real about. Nothing is going to replace the platform, but I would consider thinking about what aspects of the platform you felt were the most enjoyable, and also the ones where you saw the most success, and find platforms who are strong in those capabilities. So I was like, if I wanted to have a combo of, okay, I enjoy live streaming, and then I also enjoy being able to have filters and like native features inside of the app to make my content. So then the two platforms that I could really hone in on would be Snapchat, because that's another place where you can really be creative and out of the box. And then I would pair that with YouTube, or maybe even Twitch, right? I've never used Twitch, so I don't know how hard or easy it is to like grow over there and navigate it. So I can't say for sure that that would just be like a great solution. But regardless of where you go, it's going to be a building phase. So, we kind of just got to be okay with that. But like if I wanted to have that capability, I could pair those things together. So while it is not as efficient as having one platform that does all the things, it is giving me some alternatives that aren't going to completely disrupt my creative process. and it's not going to completely disrupt what I know works well. And there are already platforms that are established, and we know up until this point they're not going nowhere, right? They've been around for a minute, so it's a much safer bet than going to a completely new platform. So that's what I'm thinking would. Oh, I did not see y'all comments, y'all. I'm so sorry.
To open my ring pop.
Yes. Um. Okay, there's nothing over here. All right, y'all. So that's what it's gonna be. We're gonna be creating the communities that we want to see, and mm, I'm going to. What do y'all think about me talking about the different ways that your community can look? Like, what does community look like? And what different ways can I cultivate it? Is that something that y'all would be interested in? That's like an idea that literally just came to my mind. Yes, yes, Adrian. And I think that part of the reason why is because I get frustrated talking about things when I feel like I can't be concise or give people like a clear statement about what it is, because I knew I wanted to do it. I knew the name first, which is very rare because usually the name, I don't get the name first. And then I knew that like the things that I wanted to cover, the topics I wanted to cover, I knew that they were important, but I didn't know what the purpose or the takeaway of the event was going to be. And so that's something that I mean, it for anybody, like that's important to know, like the feelings behind it and the emotions are important to tap into and to speak on. But sometimes our things are too general, and we're not giving people a clear understanding of what they're going to get from an event. And that makes it easy for people to forget about it. So yeah, that's gonna be the goal. So I'll create a list of different ways that your community can look, and then we'll talk about that. I don't know if that'll be this next live coming up, but I will make it my goal to talk about it within a week. Okay, so let me just make sure that I can fit that in there. But yeah, we'll talk about that sometime in the next 7 days. I'm gonna talk about the different ways your community can look, because there are a few options. I want to say that there are a lot, but let me sit down and like actually make the list first, and then I'll come back and let y'all know if it's a lot or if it's not a lot, but your personality is what makes each one unique. Okay. That's it, y'all. I'm glad that this was helpful. I don't know if I want to keep talking about the TikTok ban. I think I'm good on that for now. At least like talking about the band specifically, but we'll see. Maybe something else will come up that I feel like I need to talk about. But outside of that, I really want to lean into um being courageous and challenging, just challenging the ways that we doubt ourselves and hold ourselves back, and sabotage, whether that is knowingly or unknowingly. And I would really love to get back to that space. So that'll be where I go from there. All right. So I love y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out. I'm glad that this has been helpful for you in some way. Don't forget, if you need the courage to create, make sure you go and sign up, either my bio over here or in the description box, which I will put down below right after this live uploads. And that's it, y'all. Y'all be good. Y'all be safe. If I'm not on tomorrow, I'll definitely be back on Thursday. Okay. Bye.